upper thoracic region of our cat, and we're going to start with the upper arteries. So you have the aortic arch connected here to the heart, right here, and it splits into two. This big one right here is the brachiocephalic artery, which branches underneath this big vein into three arteries. One of them is the, if we can see it, one of them is the right subclavian artery. Then, let me move this guy out of the way. So that was the right subclavian artery right here. And you have the left right common carotid artery and the left common carotid artery. This other branch off of the aorta is the left subclavian artery. And to see where that goes into the arm, we're going to take you to the other side and look at the right subclavian artery right here. This one starts right here, and as it moves farther down, it turns into the, right here, I don't want to block it, it turns into the axillary artery, and then farther down, the brachial artery, right here. And then back up to the top, we have the one internal mammary, and then another internal mammary artery right here. And that should be most of it. The other thing is, off of this left common, or right common carotid, is that the right one? No, this is the left common carotid. It goes up and it turns into the external carotid artery and the internal carotid artery, which, as you know, the external keeps going and it's on the outside and the internal goes in the inside. Then back to the heart. Our veins here start with the superior vena cava, and then there's this little branch which is the internal mammary vein, and this brachial, or the superior vena cava, branches into two right here. This one is the right brachiocephalic artery or vein, and this is a left brachiocephalic vein. This left brachiocephalic vein has two branches. Once it reaches this spot, it has the left subclavian vein and the external jugular vein. This will go up and then branch and have an internal portion to it. Back over here off of the superior vena cava, the other half of the vein is the right brachiocephalic, which branches into two as well. These two are the right subclavian vein and another external jugular, which goes up and also has an internal jugular portion. At the very top of the cat, which we cannot see, is a transverse jugular vein. The right subclavian vein does the same thing as the right artery. It turns into an auxiliary portion and a brachial portion. This part did not get any of that blue stuff in it, but this is still the vein. So that is the vein to the heart. Now we're going to move to the abdominal region of the veins. We're going to start with the arteries, though. So this is the abdominal aorta, and it becomes the, what part? Here's the azygous vein. That was also part of the upper region. But back to this one is the abdominal aorta, and it turns into the thoracic aorta as it goes above the diaphragm. And as the abdominal aorta goes down, it branches. And we see the first branch. This is the cephalic artery right here.
No, celiac.
Sorry, celiac. Thank you, Griselle. Celiac artery. The celiac artery branches into three. It has the hepatic artery, the left gastric artery right here. So we can lift that up right here. And then it goes into two branches, and these are the splenic arteries. This one right here is the superior cranial mesenteric artery right here. And if we go a little farther down, here's the kidney. So we have this is the, what's that called? Do you remember what that's called? Adrenolumbar artery? I'm pretty sure this is the adrenolumbar artery. And then we have the renal artery, which is attaching to the kidney. And we go down a little further, and here's the inferior caudal mesenteric artery. and I did that one. Yeah, the superior cranial mesenteric too, so those two are matching. And then we see the ovarian artery right here, because the little ovary is right this little bean-shaped thing. So this is the artery to the ovary, the ovarian artery. If we go farther down, this is the iliac, right? Iliolumbar artery right here. This is the iliolumbar artery. It's kind of tiny. And if we go farther down, there's the external iliac arteries and then the internal iliac arteries, if you can see those. And those are the arteries of the abdominal cavity. So we're going to backtrack and go to the veins of the abdominal cavity. So we have this hidden guy right here, which is the inferior vena cava. He follows all the way down, and he actually split right here. So we had some of that leakage in here, which is hard to see a lot of our veins, but we're going to make do. So the first vein, there should be one right next to this adrenal lumbar artery, but there isn't, so it should be basically right next to it, as well as this renal artery. There should be a vein right next to it as well. Renal vein next to the renal artery. And then as we make our way down, there should be a vein with the ovary, which we actually did find. It's this blue guy right here, next to this red artery. And then we move down to the iliolumbar artery. There should be a vein there as well, which there is not, because this blue stuff didn't make it down here all the way. And then we have the internal iliac. Actually, let's start with the common iliacs, because this inferior vena cava branches into two right here. So you have the left internal iliac and the common iliac. So you have the left common iliac vein and the right common iliac vein. And off of these, this one, if you want to turn the camera in here a little bit, it's kind of hard to see, but this one branches. It got cut, but here this little branch is the internal iliac vein, and then as it goes further on, it becomes the external iliac vein. Also, the femoral arteries and veins are right here. And I believe that is it. So let's take one good look at the cat down here, this area. Got some veins and arteries. Here's this renal vein, the adrenal lumbar vein, or artery, sorry, those are arteries. And then, let's take a look at the hepatic portal veins. Those should be connected to this inferior vena cava into three branches into this liver, but they kind of got broken, so those should be there. That's about it.
I don't know that they can't use those like that. I think that when they get